good afternoon. Wednesday afternoon. Not as windy as they expected. So on and so forth. Let's see some quick hits this afternoon. Talked yesterday about the pseudo filibuster that the Republicans were doing. They voted a second time to not allow debate. Today they voted a third time. They blinked. Now they say that they have gotten significant concessions, enough that they can allow debate on the floor. That's what they're saying. Democrats aren't saying that they gave up anything. It's probably a little of both. They probably got a couple of small concessions, which allows them to make a statement that's technically accurate, truthful, but they probably didn't get a whole lot. Another reason that might have pushed them was the fact that they'd already said no 3 times, and the Democrats said, fine, we're calling an all-night session. They were planning on doing quorum calls all night long, and a quorum call basically says, okay, we need to see if there's enough people here for a vote. Oh, there's not here enough people here for a vote? Wake everybody up and get them here. That's basically the way it works. And what the Democrats were planning on doing was having the freshman senators ask for a quorum call once an hour. And of course, nothing can happen until they're able to take a count. Everybody's given time to get there. They get there, they take the quorum count. Is there enough? Yes, okay, take a vote. And then an hour later, they do it all over again. The whole idea was basically to annoy the crap out of the Republicans, who really didn't want to stay there. Mitch McConnell, who was leading up the Republican stonewalling, in his state is the Kentucky Derby this weekend. Think he wanted to stay all night? Probably not. So it looks like debate will begin on the financial reform, and we'll see how that goes. Interesting news from Arizona. You know, with all the stuff about SB 1070, the immigration law that just got passed, there's been a lot of talk about boycotting Arizona. So some genius has decided that he's going to start a boycott of all Mexican restaurants in Arizona to protest against the people who are protesting the law. So understand, the people protesting the law are protesting the law. They think it's unfair. They think it's unconstitutional, that it goes after minorities. This guy wants to protest against them by boycotting Mexican restaurants. You know, Chipotle, Taco Bell. Any Mexican restaurant he wants to boycott. Never mind the fact that most of those are owned by legal U.S. citizens or corporations. So his idea is, let's not go to a Mexican restaurant to protest against the people who don't want to be singled out for an illegal search and seizure. I talk about shooting yourself in the foot. The protest, the boycott Arizona thing is going to hurt them. When the Martin Luther King holiday came around and they refused to ratify it, refused to observe Martin Luther King, people started a boycott Arizona campaign. And you know what? It hurt them. Business-wise, it hurt them. This one's bigger. This one is bigger in Arizona than Martin Luther King's going to be. They're going to start losing business from this boycott. And now this guy wants businesses to lose even more to protest. Rocket scientist. Let's see. What other news do we have? On a personal note, I started sitting on a balance ball today at work rather than a chair. First hour was a little uncomfortable. My back wasn't used to it, but by about the third or fourth hour, I really got into it. We'll see how I feel tomorrow morning. It's a little tight in the lower back right now, but as a rule, it felt pretty good, and actually, it seemed to focus a little better. mainly because, I wasn't as distracted. Not sure why. We'll see how that goes tomorrow. Let's see. Anything else? Back to the immigration thing. If you think it isn't already having an effect, this boycott, saw a report that someone had contacted the Seattle Mariners, who have their spring training in Arizona every year. And they had already received a number of calls saying that they normally come to spring training, but that they would not be able to come to spring training in 2011 if this law is in effect. So they're seeing it. Meanwhile, there does seem to be a legal challenge to the law that may keep it from going into effect for as much as 2 years. Apparently, there is a difference in time from the end of the legislative session to the time when you can file for something to be on the ballot for this election season. Now, the rule is, if a law is passed, it cannot go into effect for at least 90 days after the legislative session, as I understand it. The deadline for putting a referendum on this law on the ballot would be July 1st. I mean, if you wanted to be able to vote on it, again, 2010, and see if they could remove it, they have to apply by July 1st. They have to get all the signatures. But here's the thing. Here's where the loophole comes in. The law was signed on, I believe it's the 23rd of April. 90 days from there would be the 23rd of July. So what folks are looking at is getting signatures, but not turning them in until after July 1st, but before July 23rd. Now, if a referendum has been requested to be put on the ballot, the signatures are there, it must go into the next voting session, or next election, and the law cannot take effect until that is resolved. So basically what they want to do is wait until after July 1st, get the signatures, then turn them in, which means they got it in before the end of the 90 days. Now they have to put it on hold until the next time it can be voted on, which would be 2012. Fairly creative. Not sure if it's going to pass, if they're going to get it done, but at the minimum, they're going to delay things. So we'll see how that goes. All right, those are my tidbits for the afternoon. Hope you had a great day. We'll talk to you later.